to the point where they have to call in some of these experienced hands to try and get these things drawn out. He will probably also intervene. So the majority side and the government side have what it takes. They have the tools. We don't know if the chief of staff itself probably will come in today. I haven't seen it around. I haven't gotten that indication. There are a number of people who will be willing to put their resources and their experience at the disposal of the minister and the government side to try and get this.
Let's look at the numbers as well. I mean, this is a mid-year review. This is a program in Parliament. I have seen very senior members and notable faces that are actually being seated as early as possible here waiting for it to happen. What is special about today, even though we know that there's a mid-year review, or is it the whip doing his work?
So when it comes to the big events in Parliament, the media budget review is about the number 3 on that road. There's the budget itself, quite important. There's the State of the Nation address, and then there's the media budget review. And so when it comes to this, normally the attendance is high. But this is significant also because this is the last media budget review of the President of the government. They don't even have a big budget to present.
But don't forget that vote of account in November this year.
So vote on account. And so in terms of the significance, one would even say that this is big because the vote on account will just take care up to the first quarter of the next year and all that. But Dominic Etu, the Minister for Defense, was here.
I saw him here,
He came in and he's been
the Minister of Foreign Affairs was also around as well.
He's also been around. Kenneth Japan, Chairman of the Defense and Interior Committee, also here. Samuel Abujinapo is here. I've also seen Peter Mewu, Member of Parliament for Hohor, Minister from Railway.
The Minister of Interior as well is also around. He is actually sitting with the minority
MPs in the coffee
cafeteria.
Shop, all of them to try and see if they can get a certain understanding.
The local government minister as well. I saw him at the cafeteria as well.
Definitely. Kojo Oppong Nkrumah, Minister for Works and Housing, also present. So in terms of the figures, in terms of the personalities, the whips have been able to draw them. I haven't seen Frank Anadam the whole of today in the chamber. But given how big these issues are, I understand he is also trying to do, because this is a whip job. Definitely he's trying to get all this. So we are getting the Minister for Works and Housing, Kojo Oppong Nkrumah, to come and get us a certain understanding of what may be going on, what the expectation is of government and all that. And Kojo Oppong Nkrumah, since he left the information ministry, he's been taking his time trying to work on Faglemi and other affordable housing projects. Minister, it's good to have you.
Welcome.
So, I mean, what's going on? Your colleagues on the NDC, do you have any indication why they are not? They are there, they are in the coffee shop, but they are not taking their seat.
I cannot tell. We are here. The finance minister has been here for a while. We do know that the media statement is ready, and we're waiting for the speaker to be available to, enter the chamber, and then we'll proceed.
What are your own expectations coming into this? I mean, I'm sure this has come to cabinet. There's a lot of talk about revenue measures. Some have told us no new revenue measures expected. Others have even gone to the point of saying that, listen, certain tax sandals are going to be removed. What kind of indication can you give us going into this statement?
I mean, I think the first thing is to take a cue from the type of instrument that the minister is bringing to the floor this afternoon. He's not coming by motion. He's coming by statement. And that gives you a clue that it is a review and not necessarily a supplementary budget. The second is that it is to be expected that at this time of the year, in accordance with the Public Financial Management Act, he will be providing an update of the economic performance and the fiscal performance as well. I think Ghanaians will be pleased to see how the numbers have performed in most areas. Of course, there are a few areas in which we could have done better, but in the majority of areas, Ghanaians will be pleased to see how we have performed in those areas. In terms of the priorities between now and the end of the year, I think he will be speaking to 3 or 5 priorities that the administration will be focusing attention on. I know that various ministries have been lobbying to have their sectors prioritized between now and the end of the year. But looking at the fiscal space available, he can accommodate maybe just between 3 and 5. He will outline what the focus will be between now and the end of the year.
And Kojo, it comes back to, again, your sector and how critical certain projects need to be completed, and even the ones that need to put some finishing touches to it. We are going into an election where the minister has promised that there will be put into the expenditure, and IMF program and all the rest. How difficult is it for you as well as in lobbying to ensure that some of those key projects in your ministry are completed, but again, they are approved in the budgets and trying to avoid the election curse?
I mean, it's a beautiful question that you're asking, and it's the fundamental question of what do you do as a ministry to achieve your objectives, and how much of those objectives require funding from the Treasury. It's a very important thing. We have a huge wish list as a country. People want roads, people want houses, we want more support in our great healthcare, etc. How much of that can you as a ministry finance from other sectors, and how much can the Treasury fund? The problem over the years has been that very often we leave everything to the Treasury. And so finance ministers have to end up borrowing beyond limits or overtaxing just so that they can satisfy the wish list. I'm hoping that based on the representation that we made to the ministry, housing will be included as one of the priority sectors for the rest of the year. But whether it is or it is not, it behoves on us as a ministry and as all other ministries to find ways by which we can mobilize other resources, use other instruments to crowd in resources to achieve the objectives of the ministry. So, for example, in our space, as we are trying to resolve the stalled project or complete the stalled projects, we have not gone to the finance ministry for money. So, SAGLEMI, we need about $100 million to complete. We haven't gone to the finance ministry. We are working with the private sector to crowd in resources to do a PPP that allows us to finish. So far, as I'm sure you are aware, and we've been very transparent about it, about 5 companies have finally brought in their bids. I do understand that the PPA has approved one of the accounting firms to do the evaluation. We've committed that we'll publish all the bids and the evaluation report. But the important thing is that the money and the technical advice will not be coming from the Treasury. In Adenta, 70 homes that have been abandoned for about 10 years now that we are resolving. Again, we haven't gone to the finance ministry for money. We are working with private sector to bring in private funding and technical expertise to finish it. In Koforidua, where we're going to do the same thing, we're not going to the Treasury for money. But this is just an example of what do you do to achieve the objectives of your ministry without necessarily putting the burden on the Treasury. And it's a very important question that you have asked, and I hope that as we go along in the next 5, 10, 15 years, it's something that we'll be discussing. Nonetheless, I'm hoping that our area will be prioritized in the areas that he would outline today, so that we can still get some resources from the Treasury to make it easier for us to do our job.
When you look at SAGLEMI, would that be ready before December?
Oh, SAGLEMI, I mean, if you look at the outstanding works, 1,506 units that have not been fully completed, water, electricity, and sewage that has to be connected. It will take a while. But we're now going to go into negotiations with whoever is selected by the independent valuation entity. So I won't put all our cards on the table. We have an idea what the work plan looks like. We'd like to hear them, and then we can agree on a joint work plan and then get to work.
There was something that you've done for the police service that is going to be commissioned. I don't know the date.
I stand to.
Yeah. Are we going to see that being replicated for the other agencies as well and government institutions?
So already we have done 1,000 homes for the security services between 2017 and now. We did about 312 in Kwabinya, the first phase of 514 homes for the Ghana Police Service. Today we handed over, the President just handed over 320 literally minutes ago. I'm just coming from Tesano. And then already we had done one in Tema at the Naval Base, another 300 and something. That comes together to give 1,000 homes to the security services of this country, unprecedented. Already we have requests, in fact the military alone is requesting for about 1,000. Other state agencies are also requesting for some more. So we have a lot of requests. We have a lot of technical work that has already been done. The funding is what is the challenge now. Within the fiscal envelope, what can be made available, we're happy to receive it. But outside that, we're also looking to explore how else we can mobilize resources to get these projects done. But the security services are very happy. It provides a lot of dignity for their homes, for their families, and a peace of mind for them to work.
Kojo, do you miss your former minister? At this time, you'd have been getting out the documents, do you know the prep work and even the post-budget engagements as well? Let me ask you that question.
Well, I've actually been doing a bit of work. Honorable Amin is a very, very, very good friend of mine.
Okay.
And I work very closely with him. In fact, in the last week gone by, himself and his technocrats, we've had the opportunity to, be of support to them. But Honorable Fatih is the one at the forefront currently, and she's more than capable of carrying it forward. So I don't have to worry too much about that.
Thank you. Thank you very
so much,
Minister.
Kojo.
So,
thank you.
Honorable Kojo Oppong Nkrumah giving us a certain indication in terms of what exactly he himself has been doing at his ministry to get the buy-in, to get the kind of support they need, to get the resource envelope.